The Walkaround check. A legal duty. Your daily walk-around check isn't just good practice, it's a legal requirement. Before you start your journey, you have a legal duty to ensure your vehicle is safe and roadworthy. Failing to carry out a proper check has serious consequences. It can lead to roadside prohibitions known as a PG9, criminal prosecution and financial fines for both you and your operator, the suspension or revocation of your vocational license, and even the loss of your operator license. But beyond the penalties, this check is a critical safety priority. A simple defect can lead to a serious incident. If you see a defect, you must report it, and you must not use the vehicle if it is deemed dangerous. Your thorough inspection saves lives and prevents harm to yourself, your passengers, and the public. Let's now review the essential tyre checks you need to perform to ensure your vehicle is compliant and safe, with Stuart Lovett from TyreSafe and Michael Grayson from Lancashire County Council.
I'm Mike Grayson. I'm the Compliance Manager for Integrated Transport Services here at Lancashire County Council, and we look after the buses that take disabled children into school and home again every day.
So what we're going to talk about here today then, Mike?
Well, we want to talk about the tyres on our buses. They're the wheels on the bus that go round and round. So we're going to do that, and if it's okay with you, I'll take you outside into the yard and we'll have a look at one of our buses. Well, Stu, we're out in the yard. This is one of our brand new vehicles. Well, one of the most important things we want drivers to look at is the tyres. They are the bit that keeps us safe. They're very easy to damage, and it's really easy to miss some of the defects that are on them. So it's not the usual tread depth that you might think of that usually ends the life of a tyre. It's other damage, and it's really important our drivers know what to look for. Yeah. The really, really important thing is to make sure that if we have got any damage on those tyres, we spot it, we don't take the vehicle out on the road. That leads to, if we're caught, there's an accident perhaps, or prosecution, not just for the council, but for the driver themselves. And drivers often don't know, but it could be 3 points for every tyre that's got an issue. So if they've got 2 defective tyres, that's 6 points in one stop. Mm-hmm. It's the driver that's taken charge of that vehicle. So it's really important we help our drivers to keep themselves safe, keep their passengers safe, but also keep themselves out of course and keep their licenses clean. Okay, so this is what we would expect our drivers to look at. The obvious thing is the tread depth, and everybody knows about tread depth. And we need to make sure that the tread wear indicators aren't flush with the tyres. What's much more common on our vehicles, because they're parking at curbsides, is that the vehicles get caught on the curbs, and that causes quite a lot of damage. So we need to make sure that the sidewalls of the tyres are in good condition. Now this one's brand new and you can see the manufacturer's name and the lettering. Yeah. But if we get to a point where there's so much damage that you can't read the manufacturer's name and the pattern on the side of the tyre's gone, yeah, we don't know how much rubber's left, and you're compromising the strength of that tyre. So if you can't read the manufacturer's name and all the pattern's gone, then actually that's something that needs to be reported as being a deficient tyre. Yeah. Moving down, obviously the obvious bit at the bottom, the saying's it's only flat at the bottom, but yeah, we need to make sure that it's not bulging out and isn't obviously flat, and that's quite quick glance. The other thing I've mentioned is these day glow things, or torque indicators as they're called. What happens with these is that when the workshop fasten the tyre up and they know that it's tight and they put the torque wrench on it, they'll put these on and they'll line them up so they're pointing at each other. If you see that these aren't aligned, then that's an indication that one of the wheel nuts is coming undone and you could lose a wheel. So absolutely, if you see these not aligned, don't just take it off and put it straight back on the right way. It's an indication that that wheel nut needs checking. One of the other things that we want drivers to check, and it's quite difficult on these rear tyres because they're tucked in, but we want to try and make sure as well as we can that there's nothing embedded in the tyre. So it might be a screw, might be a stone, something like that. So we don't want people really to rub their hands over the tyres, because if there is something sharp in there, you're going to injure yourself. But do what you can in terms of a visual check all the way around the outside of the tyre, and I'm sure you can do that side for me. So the other thing that's difficult with these twin wheel vehicles is the inside tyre. So the only real way to be able to do that is to walk to the rear of the vehicle and to look underneath and make sure that the tyres aren't touching each other on the inside where they're paired together, and there's nothing obviously stuck in that area. So the main thing is, the reason we're looking for those is because if it penetrates all the way through the tyre, you're going to get either a slow deflation, or worst case is that you end up getting a blowout. And if that's blowouts on the motorway, that's going to mean that you find the vehicle very, very difficult to control. Yeah. So it's really important that we do those checks. And even on these tyres where, yes, you're right, you can't see all the way around. But what you can do, you'll see all the way around over a couple of days. There's no harm in moving the vehicle forward a yard so that you can see or a metre for those of us that are younger than us. Yeah. Another thing that the guys in the workshop will look for, but it's useful for everybody to know, is the date stamp on the tyre. So the tyre on a minibus front axle can't be more than 10 years old. And this one says 1824 as a code. And what that means is this tyre was manufactured in week 18 of 2024. So obviously this is a brand new bus, so a brand new tyre. But it's important that we keep track of that and we make sure we don't have any tyres over 10 years old on any of our vehicles. It's worth noting that those codes are only on one side of the tyre. So if it's possible, it's always beneficial to have that date stamp on the outside of the tyre so you can read it without having to crawl underneath the vehicle. And that will help with MOTs, that sort of thing as well. And the first time you do a full set of daily checks, it might take you 15 minutes to work through and know what you're looking for. But as you get into the rhythm and routine, 5-10 minutes a day should see you clear unless there's something serious. But getting those done and getting it routinely inspected and making sure that things are dealt with in a timely manner means that you can take a safe vehicle out and you're not suddenly coming across a problem that says, oh, I can't take this vehicle today, because you've spotted something that's built up over a few days and you've got it dealt with while the vehicle's naturally out of service.
Once you've completed every item on your checklist, including your tyres, and you're confident the vehicle is roadworthy, you can sign off the check and begin your journey. Always remember, the walk-around check is more than a task. It's a legal requirement and a commitment to road safety. Thank you for doing your part to keep our roads safe for everyone.